Clodhoppers on the radio. No one recognized me, I was incognito. Now I need disguises so my cover won't be blown. Say, has anybody seen my glasses and nose? I don't want to be on TV where my face will show. Say, has anybody seen my witness protection program? Has anybody seen my disguise? Oh, there it is, getting off with the Easter eggs. My goodness gracious. Welcome down to Clodhoppers, everybody. I'm Clod Headgate. Every now and again, Nevada County TV likes to drop in and see what's going on, and there's always something fun going on, some good music and some bad jokes. And our production crew, as usual, is Alice Lake, running all 4 cameras and being the floor director. John Hose, directing, running the switcher and all that technical stuff. And, of course, Bo Peep on sound, character generator, and sound effects. Welcome out, everybody, and we'd also like to welcome a very good friend of the show, Mr. Les Tarr.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah.
And another added treat. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not, I repeat, not going to play my accordion.
Just don't squeeze your guitar too hard.
Well, by golly, we're going to start it off with a song by Carl Perkins. Les Tarr is going to take it away here.
Yeah.
Alice Lake's already bebopping over there.
In old Kentucky, there's a fella mighty lucky by the way he makes a guitar moan. Hanging around singing in a country store, picking like a chicken, picking up corn. All gals in the county love to gather around him, 'cause he's got the rhythm in his bones. Your feet start scooting with a shuffle and drag every time you hear the rhythm of the guitar rag. Hear the moan and tone, hear the grumble and groan. He can make a jackrabbit chase a hound. He can make the deacon put the good book down. Even the fat and the skinny does a little shimmy and the head start to wiggle and wag. Your feet start scooting with a shuffle and drag every time you hear the rhythm of the guitar rag. That's your Clod. Moaning tone, hear the grumble and groan. He can make the jackrabbit chase a hound. He can even do it, he can put the good book down. Even the fat and the skinny does a little shimmy and the head start to wiggle and wag. Your feet start scooting with a shuffle and drag every time you hear the rhythm of the guitar rag. Tone, you hear the mumble and groan. He can make a jackrabbit chase a hound. He can even make the deacon put the good book down. Even the fat and the skinny does a little shimmy and the head start to wiggle and wag. Your feet start scooting with a shuffle and drag every time you hear the rhythm of the guitar rag.
What a lovely crowd. We can see them even now. Actually, we can see you at home. So keep your hands to yourself over there, all right?
Yeah, well, if it wasn't for that sousaphone in the way, I'd be able to see him too.
If you are wondering
sitting here loving you.
If you are wondering just what I would do when you were sleeping, had I not found you, I'd be outside finding you, walking down the avenue finding you. But I'm just sitting back, sitting here loving you. Well, the reason that you never see me running around, fingers on my forehead couldn't calm me down. She can't even get me up on my feet when I've got to take care of some business on the street. I have been walking all my streets alone. I have been walking, keep from going home. First I couldn't think of ever squeezing you, now I can't conceive of ever leaving you. I'm just sitting back, sitting here loving you. Now I can't conceive of ever leaving you. I'm just sitting back, sitting here loving you, loving you. Well, the reason that you never see me running around, fingers on my forehead couldn't calm me down.
That's bad.
She can't even get me up on my feet.
That's pretty good.
When I've got to take care of some business on that street. 'Cause I have been walking all my streets alone. I have been walking, keep from going home. First I couldn't think of ever squeezing you, now I can't conceive of ever leaving you. I'm just sitting back, sitting here loving you. Pretty mama, I'm just sitting back, sitting here loving you.
Hey, the kids liked it.
Thanks, kids. Well, ladies and gentlemen, they're back. Those wonderful church bulletins. Thank God for the church ladies with typewriters. These sentences with all the bloopers actually appeared in church bulletins or were announced in church services. Is that creepy choir ready to respond to the church bloopers? The fast and prayer conference includes meals. The sermon this morning, Jesus walks on water. The sermon tonight, searching for Jesus.
Oh, boy.
Well, we might as well get one more in here.
Okay.
Ladies, don't forget the rummage sale. It's a chance to get rid of those things not worth keeping around the house. Bring your husbands. Ah, the creepy choir.
Oh, good one. What have we got coming up here?
Well, now we're going to get in a fight. We're going to take sides in anger, by golly.
Oh, okay. Is that it?
Yep.
Okay, 1, 2, 1. I'd like to tell you that it's fine, but there's not time now. I can't seem to get a word in edgewise anyhow. Though the words are flying fast, they just don't mean a thing. In a little while we could tell a us everything. But we've taken sides in anger and we can't back down. Now we're fighting just to bring the other down. But if we think to stop it now, then the next time we'll know how. I'd like to break it to you gently where we go wrong. When the rock begins to roll and we just tag along. At first we pick the little things that we both lack. Then before we stop to think we're into hurting back. And an avalanche of answers must be found too fast. Hasty made just when we should build to last. Love what we lack like what we share. Correction comes with time to spare. To break it to you gently where we go wrong. When the rock begins to roll and we just tag along. At first we pick the little things that we both lack. And before we start to think we're into hurting back. And an avalanche of answers must be found too fast. Hasty made just when we should build to last. But if we think to stop it now, then the next time we'll know how. Thank you.
That was the 11 Spoonful that did that originally, I believe.
Last two were 11 spoonfuls. Last two fills.
Because that's the kind of guys we are, and that's how old we are.
Old?
So yeah, you had a ranch. You had a ranch in Texas, Les.
I had a ranch in Texas. It was a big ranch, man. You want to hear how big that ranch was?
Okay.
That ranch was so big, you could get in your automobile and it would take you 3 days to drive around it.
Yeah, I know. I used to have a car like that too. Well, I think we've just been run out of town, so we better go and say goodbye. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. You asked me to read this letter that you wrote the night before. And you really should know better, 'cause she's worth a whole lot more. Brother, you know you can't run away and hide. If you don't want to see her cry, is that why you don't go and say goodbye?
Say goodbye.
And you say the fault was yours and you really were to blame. 'Twas as if to close the doors and to hide away in shame. Brother, you know you can't run away and hide. If you don't want to see her cry, is that why you don't go and say goodbye?
Say goodbye.
Yes, and why? Tell me why. Can't you see that it's not right? It's a lie, it's a lie. Don't hide your sorrows in the night. Brother, you know you can't run away and hide. You don't want to see her cry, is that why you don't go and say goodbye?
Say goodbye.
Yes, and why, tell me why, can't you see that it's not right? It's a lie, it's a lie, don't hide your sorrows in the night. Brother, you know you can't run away and hide. Is that you don't want to see her cry? Is that why? Don't go and say goodbye.
Go and say goodbye.
And you say the pain has doubled, but for her it's even worse. You must face her with the trouble, though it's hurting like a curse. Brother, you know you can't run away and hide. Is it you don't want to see her cry? Is that why you don't go and say, go and say, go and say goodbye? Ah, yes, another discerning audience, I can tell. We can't really see you.
How do you spell that?
T-H-A-T.
Oh, okay, good. You passed.
Well, I'm probably smart as a catfish.
I don't know. This catfish here is pretty smart. This is a song about a catfish and the boys that loved him. Now Whiskers, he was a catfish down in some stream in Mississippi, taking life easy, feeding on anything he could get. Now the Johnson boys, they caught him and they didn't want to eat him. Decided to train old Whiskers and make that catfish their pet. Oh, by the way, that was May. They bought him a bathtub, filled it full of muddy water. They swam him for an hour, then they walked him around the yard for 2. By June they had him walking, boarding at the bunkhouse. You wouldn't believe the chores that old catfish could do. He could wash the dishes and scrub the floor. Then he'd go hang the clothes out on the line. He even learned to play poker on Saturday night when all my money, everything was going along fine. Then one day in August, Johnson boys were going fishing. Whiskers, he's feeling kind of lonesome and blue because he's just hanging around. He went fishing with the Johnson boys, cast out, lit into a whopper. Lost his balance, fell into the river and drowned. Oh no. Play it there, Clyde. Poor catfish. Forgot how to swim and went drowned again. The great big catfish. He used to wash the dishes, he used to scrub the floor, he used to hang all the clothes out on the line. He used to learn to play poker on Saturday night, win all the money. Every little thing was going along fine. Now the Johnson boys have never been the same since that tragic day in August. To find themselves another catfish is their greatest wish. The moral of the story is really very simple. You can lead a fish from water, but you can't let him fish. Oh, no. Thank you.
Ah, the kids like that one. Any stories about animals?
Animals. You got a song about a famous gunfight.
Yes,
Old
I
West
do.
gunfight, don't you?
But first, I think we'll go down to church
Oh,
just
okay.
one more time here.
Let's see what they have to say in church.
Yes. Well, let's see. Remember in prayer the many who are sick of our community. Smile at someone who is hard to love. Say hell to someone who doesn't care much about you.
That's a good way to make friends with those people and get a fat lip.
And one more here. Don't let worry kill you off. Let the church help.
I got a church story. Or should we sing it after the next?
We better do it now.
Okay, well, this mother has two rascal sons, 8 and 10. And every time something happens in the neighborhood, they get blamed for it. And so the mother wants the preacher to teach them something. So he's wondering what to do, and he says, well, let's see, everybody knows God's everywhere, so I'll work on that. So he tells the mother to send the kids in one at a time. The littlest one comes in. Do you know where God is, son? And he's trying to get God's everywhere out of him. And the kid looks at him kind of scared. And the preacher says, maybe I should be a little sterner. Where's God? That doesn't work. So he points his finger at him. Do you know where God is? And the poor little kid barrels out the door. It comes slamming behind him out the church, runs all the way home and hides in his closet and doesn't come out until his brother comes home. And his brother says, what are you hiding in there for? And the little kid says, you know something? God is missing and we're blamed for it.
That was a long way to go, Les.
Yeah, well, there went the last song.
From the Badland came the killer. He lived by the knife and the gun. He'd cut you just for standing. He'd shoot you if you tried to run. He was big as a tree, and he did as he pleased, and everything he did was bad. They said if you was to kill him, it'd only make him mad. From the good lands came the cowgirl, and Patty was her name. She was hot on the trail of that killer. On a moped she called Flame. 'Cause the killer had killed her daddy just for spitting in the road. He only had to kill her daddy once to get that gal PO'd. Yippee-yi-yay, cow Patty. Yippee-yi-yay, cow Patty. She came into town to find the man that killed her daddy. Yippee-yi-yay, cow Patty. The killer hit town at daybreak, ate the door off the local saloon. He started to drink. You could tell he was thinking there'd be a showdown soon. Out he hit town in a cloud of dust. Old Flame was buzzing like a song. And the whole town got as quiet as a church when the killer stepped out for the draw. 40 shots rang out. 40 people fell. Patty and the killer missed each other, but they shot that town to hell. Yippee-yi-yay, cow Patty. Yippee-yi-yay, cow Patty. She came into town to find the man that killed her daddy. Yippee-yi-yay, as they say down there in San Luis Obispo. Cal Poly. The killer took a step toward Patty, said, it's time I gunned you down. But he slipped in something that was laying in the street and was shot before he hit the ground. Yes, the killer slipped and it cost him his life. Patty said as she roared out of town, you better watch your step when you know the chips are down. Yippee-yi-yay, cow patty. Yippee-yi-yay, cow patty. She came into town to find the man that killed her daddy. Yippee-yi-yay, cow patty. On, Flame, on, you big moped.
Where did he come from?
Thank you, Bo Peep,
Oh,
for introducing us to one of your friends,
this one?
or maybe just a companion.
She wouldn't be calling names, would she? Oh, boy. Well, what do we
And off they go. I'd like to say goodnight to everybody. Thanks a lot for
Good night, everybody.
checking out Clodhoppers. Thanks to Les Tarr, Alice Lake, John Hose, and Bo Peep. Les is going to take us out here with another spoonful tune. Don't forget to tune in next time for our 200th episode. See you then.
Darling companion, come on and give me understanding. Let me be your champion, a hand to hold your pretty hand in. Darling companion, I'll tell the mountains and the canyon, love will always light our landing. I can depend on you. Darling companion, heaven knows where we'll be landing, just as long as we keep laughing. Keep in mind just what's worth having. Darling companion, now you know you'll never be abandoned. Love will always light our landing. I can depend on you. A little saucy mare like you should have a steed. A little briding down with me is what you need. Darling companion, heaven knows where we'll be landing, just as long as we keep laughing. Keep in mind just what's worth having. Darling companion, now you know you'll never be abandoned. Love will always light our landing.
Nevada County's In-Home Supportive Services program provides needed services like shopping, housekeeping, and personal assistance for seniors and people with disabilities. These services provide the independence for the persons being served and are delivered by family members, friends, or providers from the Public Authority Registry.
I can't understand someone having fraudulent behavior with the IHSS program. I mean, because you're entrusted with the care of someone that's disabled, and it's your responsibility to give them the absolute best care possible, and that's what's expected of you.
These services are important to many in our community. If you suspect someone engaging in fraudulent activity in Nevada County's In-Home Supportive Services program, then give us a call at 530-265-1639.
So, what's it gonna be? Could ride bikes, movies, zoo?
Can we just do this?
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Yeah, we can just do this.
Take time to be a dad today.
Troubadour Camp, yay! Welcome to Troubadour Camp. So good to have you here. My name is Mountain John, and this all started one cold winter night while I was writing a book. A blizzard was going on outside in the Laurel Mountains of western Pennsylvania.